We're back at it here. We got Mach Rider this time. As I had said, it's I kind of mistakenly said it was the first racing game, as if I just completely forgot that I played Excitebike, which, you know, thanks to Mode B, could absolutely be considered a racing game. But no, here we are. Mach Rider, a vehicular combat game, a game oft forgotten in the canon of NES games for, well, mostly for the reason that it's just, you know, kind of there. I guess we'll play the fighting course. Oh, we have a story. In the year 2112, by Rush, the Earth has been invaded by evil forces. Journey to neighboring sectors, destroying invaders. Hey! That seems like a very, very simple story. You are Mach Rider. That's more storyline than we've gotten anywhere. I've heard this song. Oh, no! Okay, so we immediately died. We do have a rear view mirror that I'm thinking I definitely got to keep track of. I also was not accelerating, really, before. So, I'm gonna have to get used to looking at that rear view mirror. That apparently matters a lot. Immediately, you may notice that this is not quite a racing game in the strictest sense of the word here, as you are, in fact, using a vehicle to go down the road, but you're also shooting stuff. Okay. You're not gonna get me that time. That one got me, though. Oh, man, this is jarring. Trying to pay attention to the rear view and what's in front of you. Turns out it's harder than you'd think. However, I gotta say, the game actually controls fairly well. Okay, well, there's the end. We've already completely messed it up. Those come up fast on you from behind, honestly. Like, you really gotta be quick to react, and I just was not quick at all. Like, you gotta... I thought it was on the other side! Am I missing something? I don't think so. I'm dying so quickly I can't even finish thoughts. See, it targeted me. It straight up, like, followed where I was going. You saw that, right? I went to the right, it also went to the right. Okay, this is gonna take some figuring out for sure. Okay, that one didn't, but that one, the one behind it did. What? I think I'm discovering why this game is often forgotten about. We just gotta survive for 6 more kilometers. It was chasing me! You cannot shoot behind you, so that's not the answer. It's coming up. Okay, well, we avoided it and then we just hit a barrel instead. And game over it again. Okay, so yes, immediately this is extremely frantic. I'm almost wondering if we, like, shouldn't start with something maybe a little easier, like solo ride or something like that, but no. We can try that later, you know? I can see a few different game modes, so we can easily, you know, split that up into bite-sized pieces. I'm sure you're all seeing this. And I'm sure that all the Mach Rider experts out there are saying, he doesn't know the special trick. What do? How do you prevent that? You do appear to have a limited shot counter, so you can't just spam shots all over. Okay, I'm gonna try something next time. I thought that maybe if I moved over at the last minute, it wouldn't happen, but no, it did. I admittedly don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to avoid the incoming rear view traffic. If anybody does know, you're a hero in my eyes. It's a shame that that's becoming such a horrendous little piece of this game, because I'm pretty sure you just gradually lose energy. I don't remember hearing so much about how brutal this is. I know I've heard people talk about Mach Rider before, but... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, should I just stay perfectly still when they're coming up on me? Is that the better way to do it? Let's try that. Okay, well, that one... Nope. It worked for one, but then not the other. We've got 40 points and 8 kilometers to go. What's happening? They just go right up on you. I sound like a broken record right now, but I am genuinely and truly baffled here. Okay, I was able to avoid that one, if nothing else, but then the one behind him. Now we have no energy left, so... Yeah, I was gonna say... Give me one moment here. I'm actually going to see if I am missing something. I'm gonna see if I can't get a little tip on how to avoid these, because, you know, I'd like to do all of this, like, guideless, and I'm not necessarily looking up, like, a walkthrough or anything. I just want to know, how do you avoid the rear view? Because that appears to be the, most brutal thing. No way to shoot backwards as far as I can see here. Let's see. You can block enemies that are coming up by running them into hazards, but that wouldn't be easier necessarily. Yeah, I mean, people don't say a whole lot about this game either, so maybe I just genuinely have to, you know, get good. Wait! Wait! You can shift up gears. I think that's my issue. Oh, okay, hold on now. Oh yeah, okay, I figured it out. You just gotta, you know, shift up. What a concept, right? Oh my gosh, look how fast this is! This is ridiculous! You can actually bump into them too at a high speed and be perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure I bumped into one. Alright, well that answers that a little bit. You know, good thing I bothered to look up the controls. I didn't think that there'd be much more to it, but as it turns out, I was being a big old dummy, and there is absolutely more to it. The sector ahead has fallen to the forces of evil. Proceed to the next sector. And it looks like you can actually choose your sector here. You can pick A or B. Let's try sector B. This looks all spinny. You are Mach Rider. Yes, we are. Thanks for noticing. Okay. Oh, wow, okay. It's really fast. It's now I know why it's called Mach Rider, because this is sincerely a quick game. I wonder if you're good to just kind of stay in third gear. It seems a little more doable. Oh, my goodness. It's still very fast. And you can't spam your shots too much, because you do have limited shot energy. Oh no. We were stuck in second gear there, and that was my problem. Let's try third gear. I'm glad I looked that up, because this would have been a really pathetic episode otherwise. You do gotta be in fourth gear. I definitely saw some enemies coming up. Oh! Rough. Okay, the end. But we actually accomplished something that time. So, okay, let's go right back into the fighting course here. This time we can go into course B if we so please. Okay, that's actually really cool. Now, you can pick your course and all that. The fact that they even have gear shifting, I mean, obviously it's so unexpected that I didn't even consider that as a possibility when I started playing the game, so go figure. But man, it is very, very difficult to avoid things coming at you when you're going this fast. I don't know if it's a game where every obstacle on the track is predetermined. If it is, I guess you could eventually memorize obstacle locations. Hey, look at that, a little ditty. Okay, that's good stuff. That was clean. Pretty decent score too, better than last time. I don't block anybody, but you know. Okay, we're going on course A here. This really gives the game quite a bit of replayability, actually, giving the kind of branching paths. That is honestly a very modern decision, all things considered. Now the hard part is surviving it, especially when you make those turns. Like, it's hard to determine where exactly, where the obstacles are. They just kind of pop up at you, and that's gonna be rough. I can already tell that that's going to be kind of a non-stop gripe that I have about this one. Oh man, okay, yeah, get into 4th gear. I see you guys come, picking up speed in the back. Now I suppose you could probably downshift when you're in a obstacle-filled area, and that you'd probably be okay to at least get through it. I don't think anybody would come on your tail that quickly. Okay, those guys do bleed. Oh, like, jeez! We should have actually downshifted to let him pass us, then we could have got him, because turns out the green ones are very, very fast. 6 kilometers to go. I'm not confident. Okay. Good dodging, good dodging. Hey, look at that! Past road number 2. Okay, now that I know what's going on, it's actually kind of thrilling. Not being able to see a lot of obstacles is, you know, a little bit of a pain, but let's stay on course A. Look at that. We got 2 loop-de-loops there. We are still Mach Rider. I may have skipped some valuable exposition, but for some reason I'm thinking that it was probably just a lot more of the same. Oh, I totally forgot about shifting that time around. That's on me. That's my bad. I got so caught up in the moment. Let's keep on it, dude. Now, I gotta pay attention and see if these layouts that you can pick between are even different every time. Because if that's the case, then that's a lot of replayability for an NES game. Oh, come on now. Yeah. There we go. Like, hey, I know that this is a fairly archaic, like, technological cheat, the whole concept of, you know, making a 2D space look like it's 3D, but it's still pretty effective to this day. Like, looking at everything else that was on the NES at the time, all the other black box games, it's a fairly sophisticated looking game. The graphics are pretty good, honestly. The forced perspective of the 3D works well, as always. Let's just stick to the A courses here. Stick to A. Don't even bother with it, you know, just kick up into 4th gear as soon as you can. Gosh. Now that we know to shift up, the rocks are considerably more deadly than any of the racers themselves actually are. Well, not racers, enemies, whatever you want to call them. Because if you bump into them, you get another chance at redemption. You know, you don't just die instantly. Those rocks, though, they're out for blood. Oh man, like look at that. We nearly got toasted. Oh no, ran into the barrel. Bad news. Okay, there we go. I wanted to get through that area before I kicked into 4th gear. There was a lot of stuff to get by here. The game, of course, as you would expect from being a forced perspective 3D game that isn't truly 3D, it does have perspective issues. Depth perception, in particular. hard to tell exactly where obstacles are and exactly where you need to move to avoid them. They did a decent job of mitigating that, but it's definitely still, you know, a small problem. But yeah, considering what they were trying to do with the game, it's still impressive. Got past course 2 again. That's wonderful news. Oh yeah, look at that. Low scoring run this time around, but who cares? Taking the A train all the way, baby. Okay, yes, these tracks are the same. I remember this double loop. I didn't think they would be fully procedurally generated. That would be just incredible. Now, on the topic of procedural generation, because I smell a topic coming up. What happened? Everything went white. Well, we died. There are a lot of procedurally generated games out there. Did you know that? I'll try the B train this time. And they tend to have a lot of replayability, but there is that discussion that keeps coming up to where they ask, are procedurally generated games half the time even worth replaying? Like, when you don't have a handcrafted level, does that have as much impact as a level that is designed by hand very, like, carefully from start to finish? No. But I think that that's why it's important to think about specifically the kind of game that is used in procedural generation. Take Uncharted 4. I don't think Uncharted 4 was necessarily the most fun game in the Uncharted series, but it was undoubtedly the most beautiful, and the level design in it was absolutely stunning. The environments blew my mind. I swear I spent a lot of time just like slowly walking through because they were designed so beautifully. Uncharted is obviously a game that would never work if it was procedurally generated, because then you would lose all of the charm of having these beautifully handcrafted levels. Now, you take a game like, oh, let's take one of the most endearing examples that we can, and enduring, not endearing. Oh, maybe a little bit of both. Let's take The Binding of Isaac. You know, there's a game that is pretty much entirely procedurally generated. You know, just with a handful of pre-sculpted rooms to choose from, and it works almost perfectly for that game because it was never a beautiful game to begin with. I'm not going to call it an ugly game. It's got a very, you know, specific art style that works for it, but you're never going to get an Uncharted style, whoa, what am I looking at kind of moment when you're playing a game like The Binding of Isaac. Same goes for a game like Everspace. Space is gorgeous, but if you were to go through and hand design every facet of your space-based game, that might get a little daunting, and quite frankly, I think it would go unnoticed all at the time. You know, when you've just got stars in the background, some meteor clusters here and there, some kind of shipyard here. So a game like Everspace, again, procedural generation works great for it. That's why No Man's Sky works well, or at least works well now that the game is arguably in a more finished state, of course. I know when it came out, people were not happy about it, but... So yeah, if you want to talk about procedural generation, ask, well, which is better, procedural generation or pre-crafted levels? I would tell you that it depends literally completely on the type of game that you're developing. That's probably not a hot take. It's probably something that most everybody can widely agree on, but, you know, that's what I'm here for, is to reaffirm your beliefs. There are 10 levels in this game. We can't get past level 3. Hot damn. But I'm trying to determine if it's like fun hard or just cheap hard. It's very hard to tell. I think I just gotta get used to downshifting when I see things coming up that I need to dodge. Or maybe just focus on upshifting when I see something in the rear view. There we go. Like that. Yeah. Saw something coming up? That's when you shift up. Unfortunately, we biffed it in the water. Let's see if we can beat this stage here. I don't think that we've beaten stage 2 on the B side. The puddles, when they just shoot you directly into barrels, that's a dangerous little combination. Okay, yeah. Kick up the gear. We got bad guys behind us. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. Yeah, that'll be worth some points. Those ones that take 3 shots. We're almost at the end. I think we can make it. Oh no! Well, okay, we still have a life left. It's not the end yet. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's the end. Marked by the twin barrels. Alright. It's neat. It is neat. Now that I understand it, now that I'm not like, what the heck, why do you keep dying? You can't do anything about it. Yeah, it turns out you can't do anything about it because you're playing the game completely incorrectly. And that was my fault the entire time. We are still Mach Rider. Feels good, man. Okay, time for rocks. Oh, rocks and barrels, and now we're dead. Yep, saw that coming. We're about a third of the way through the video, so I'm gonna check out the endurance course. Go 20 kilometers within time 250. Oh, that's what this is, huh? So it looks like we don't have lives here, so to speak, because it's all about time attack. Unfortunately, there are no barrels and rocks, at least not yet. This is a little more my speed. Come on, speed it up. Yeah, that's a really satisfying little I assume it's an extra life sound. Okay. Just chill out. What was that? What did I do there? Oh, alright, I went the 20 kilometers. And then I guess you just keep on running until the time goes down to see how much better you can do. I would imagine that that is the intention. We're running low on shots, actually. That's at least... Oh, no, and then we died. Okay, yeah, we don't just get one life, which I kind of thought would happen. I was half expecting that I would, you know, run into something and then just get booted back to the main menu. And there we go, there's our time limit. 35 kilometers, you've qualified! You can try the next course! I kind of figured there'd be more to it than just, you know, one little dinky endurance course. Look at that, one endurance run. That's like a better score than anything that we've done in the fight course. 25 kilometers within time 300. You know what? Easy. Although now we got barrels. Never mind. But we don't have lives either. We just have to not run into so many that we waste all our time. I like this mode, actually. So far, I do. Oh, man. Really kind of get an adrenaline rush, actually, when you successfully dodge through those barrels. I mean, usually I just crash right into them. But when you're able to actually react and dodge them, it's remarkably gripping for an NES game. Remarkably thrilling. Like, look at that! We're dialed in this time. We can pretend that didn't happen. Alright, here we go. Just speed it up here. Oh, you lose a lot of time by dying since, you know... Yeah, come on. Shift like a responsible adult. I'm sure I've got friends who drive manual in the comments who are thinking, what are you doing? God forbid you ever see me try to play a sim racing game. You'll get an aneurysm. I think we're in the clear. We only had to go 25, I believe, so we can... Yeah. We qualified. We're good. Good to go. Oh, no. Hey, don't even sweat it. We've already made as far as we have to go. Come on now. Okay, well. when I said we made it as far as we had to go, I decided, well, okay, why even try anymore then, right? Whew. It's one of those games where if you use the D-pad, which if you're on an original NES you would, it really hammers away at your thumb, you know? This part right here, where it gets all tender. If you've played NES for an elongated period of time, you probably know the exact muscle that I'm talking about that just gets worn down by D-pad work. Yeah, playing this on original hardware would do a number on you. Okay, 35 and 350. It's possible. Anything's possible. That was a good dodge. I don't think that's gonna be the norm this track, but I'll take it where I can get it. Oh my god. Oh, this must be ice, right? We're gonna get all slippery around corners now? I can only imagine that that's what that was, because the special little sound effect and everything. I should have just kept going straight. I did actually shoot one of those barrels. There we go. Learn to shift, man. No, I've never driven manual in my life. The most manual I've ever driven is playing a little bit of Project Cars with the steering wheel, and outside of that, nope. I have a car that has one of those weird, like, you can choose whether it's automatic or manual. You can just, like, crank the shifter over and then you can drive it manual. I remember when I was buying the car, the salesman was trying to sell me on that feature so much. He was like, oh man, if I can give it a try, and he kept pressing it this whole time. I'm like, dude, I don't want to blow this car up because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you do not want me to test the manual on this thing. A lot of people, like, at the Jiffy Lube and stuff, they see I've got a Mazda 3 and they're like, oh, you must be a real driver. Hey, we made it. Now, man, I just need a car, and it was cool looking, and it had Bluetooth, and it was affordable. That's my criteria, man. I say, oh yeah, driver's car, as if it's some kind of high prestige touring car. It's not, but you know, the 2010 Mazda 3, it's a rock solid automobile. Look at this, we are crushing the endurance course. Not a single problem to be seen here. Look at that score just go up. Yeah. Go 40 kilometers within 400. Oh, that's a little more intense. You got 100, and that's not real seconds either. You can tell those are going way faster. You get 100 per 10 kilometers you go. So we gotta maintain a healthy pace there. What the heck? What are these guys? They're just bullying me. Did you see that? I know you saw that. You're watching. Okay, we did go 10 kilometers within 100, not seconds, what do you call them, clicks? Yeah. Make sure when they come back, they don't bully you into a barrel. Come on now. Getting a little over-eager on the shifter, as always. I guess, you know, when you're playing Mach Rider for the NES, you don't really think, I gotta go back to my Project Cars training. It's not the first game that comes to mind. Aye. We're still on pace, just not perfect pace. Those are some caltrops on the ground. Couldn't have been the only person who saw those. Really, you can kind of tactically die, you know, to reload your, ouch, to reload your shots. Are we really still on pace? This is actually kind of shocking. Maybe disrespectful to the game. Okay, whoa. Shift down on those turns there. Come on, I wanted him to get ahead of me, but he just wouldn't do it. Okay, now we really gotta push it though. We can still make it, but we'll have to drive nearly perfectly, and these other dudes on the track are getting craftier and craftier as time goes on. Oh, jeez. I thought for sure I was gonna eat it there. I heard the water sound effect, Oh, man, just by the skin of my teeth. I saw us whiff past a barrel. I thought, this is the end. This is how it all ends. 42 kilometers, though. Look at that. Room to spare. What do we got now? 50 kilometers at 50? Let that score go up. It's not an amazing score, you know? I don't know what is an amazing score. You could even die right before you succeed just to refill your shots and get a full score. 48 kilometers within 450. Ooh. That is really bringing the pace up, actually. What? What did I just run into? Excuse me. Oh, yeah, that's definitely ice. Y'all like ice in your driving games? I know I don't. I've been playing the new Trackmania. The ice surfaces in that game are absolutely... absolutely horrifying. I think this is probably where our endurance run ends. Gosh! Oh yeah, look at that. This is definitely where our endurance run ends. You can go for a good long while, though. Provided you're better. I'm trying to decide how you take these icy corners. Do you just let off the throttle? Is that the best way to handle those? Or do you have to downshift? I don't know, man. I'm not a professional Mach rider player. I don't like those things. On paper, they shouldn't really be any worse than rocks, but, like, I feel like they're harder to spot. Like, they don't pop in as soon. Maybe they pop in at the same time. God, I don't know. There's just something about their yellow, spherical nature that does not sit well with me. Letting off the throttle, we were able to stay on the track that way. So maybe that's better than just outright downshifting. Yeah, we are not making this. We are not on pace. I didn't think we would. You know, I had a certain point where I fully accepted that my luck had to run out, and we're there. I like the post-apocalyptic backdrop in this whole game. The destroyed cities in the background. Like, if they could have gotten the Mad Max license for this, bet they absolutely would have. But no, the best Mad Max game didn't come out until like 2013. The best part is that's not even a joke. Mad Max in 2013 was honestly an exceptional game. We're like 10 kilometers off with not a snowflake's chance in hell of getting there. Yep, we couldn't coast into 40 even. It's okay. So, that's endurance mode. Jeez, we did way better in endurance course than anything else. Let's just pop into design course. Let's we design a... Oh yeah, look at this, look at this. How do we... Right, I think there are controls for this actually. Let me look these up. Oh, okay, okay, check this out. You hold B to select the piece you want. And then you place it like that. Okay. You know what? This is way better than Excitebike's design mode. Holy cow. This, like, you can actually see what you're doing. Oh, wait, no. Just how zany can you get with it? You could... you could totally design some very, very mature-looking tracks on this. If you know what I'm saying. I know you know what I'm saying. Oh, wait, that's wrong. Can we erase that? Yeah, we can. Put a little chicane in there. You know, again, it's like there's no one that we really have to share this track with, but hot dang if it is not a... Oh, look at this! You can go all over! Whoops. If this is not involved... Like, I'm extremely impressed with this. Look at how crazy you can get here. Just give it some straight, give it some straight. Pan down like that. And then pan down to the end. Yeah! Okay, we can save it. I don't know if this game has battery saves or not or anything like that. I don't know if you could actually save this to a cart. I mean, I'd imagine, you know, with an emulator, obviously, you could just make a save state with the track on it, but... It takes a while, doesn't it? I hope that we haven't, like, bricked the emulator by attempting to save a ROM. No, we're fine. I didn't think that would happen. We go 22 kilometers within time 250. Okay. Now, the one issue being that you can't really see what's in the distance is I don't know how much we're even going to notice that we're playing what we designed. Like, the actual designing part may be more fun. Oh, whoa, never mind. That's kind of cool. May be more fun than the playing it. Especially since, you know, it doesn't show when you've done like a loop-de-loop or anything like that. It doesn't show the road around you. That said, it's a really, really good like design mode. I mean, Excite Bikes is okay, but you can't tell like what you're you can't tell what you're putting down. You know, it's like letters. And you just gotta memorize those letters, or have a book with all the letters or something like that. This one, there's no question about it. It's got everything perfectly figured out, laid out for you. And the fact that it, like, the fact that it also, like, dynamically, shows you which pieces can be placed where, that is very impressive as well. Like, that is going above and beyond for a game of its vintage. I think Excite Bike is still the more fun game at its core, but holy cow, the little things in Mach Rider are impressing me a ton, actually. Way more than I expected I would ever be impressed. And yeah, and then look at that. You can do fight course, you can do endurance course, you can do solo mode, you can do anything that you want once you've created your own course in a design mode. That's so cool. Yep, looks like it's gonna start us back at the beginning. Oh, yep, phase 2, so now there's rocks all over. Cannot manually place rocks or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, probably have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Yeah, this would have been mind-blowing back in the day. I mean, my mind's kind of partially blown right now, seeing how robust the creator is. Blows Excite Bikes out of the water. If you could have just, like, given Excite Bike the same depth in its creator that you gave this game, oh mama, things would have been brilliant. I'm noticing this is considerably easier without anybody else on the track as well. We're just vibing. Look at this. In a track that we built. I'm speechless a little bit. And then, do you eventually get to the end? Does it loop? Like, what happens at that point? Okay, we did eventually finally beat it, but we got very far considering the goal was, what, 28? Hell yeah, we qualified. Easy. Go 32 within 350. Don't even make me laugh. Oh no. Barrels, how tragic. But now that there are no enemies, because it's solo mode, you know, I can just shoot the second I see a barrel and probably be fine. Oh gosh. Until, you know, the ice happened. I assume that, you know, the game just kind of dynamically changes weather. You can probably shoot those. I see them on the, yeah, you can. I was gonna say, I see them on the, points tally. But instead I just choose to, you know, get blown up by them instead of shooting them. I know what I'm doing. Getting blown up makes for more views. Or does it? Tell all your friends. Tell them, are you doing anything better than watching some dweeb on YouTube spend an hour on NES games every day? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't do anything better with my time. Ooh, there we go, there we go. Maybe it's gonna get the best of me. Maybe I was getting a little overly cocky. I don't think I'm gonna make it. The obstacles, the obstacles all got the best of me. Nope, we made it by the skin of our teeth. We're good. We're golden. And see, now I'm at the point where I can't even tell if this is the track that I designed or not, just because, you know, everything is so nondescript. I think the designing is more fun than the playing, oddly enough, but dang if they did not do something beautiful with that designer. I'm very, very impressed with it. 45 kilometers within 400? Is this some kind of joke? No. We got jokes coming up in this series, don't worry. We're gonna have some games that we'll be playing that you'll look at and you'll go, why? What the heck? I know I'm not saying anything, but you know, I'm just so focused in. I'm becoming a professional Mach rider. It's an occupation now. This is such like an 80s anime premise too, which, you know, makes sense being that it's a Japanese game from the 80s. A motorcycle rider in a post-apocalyptic setting who shoots machine guns or lasers or whatever they are from his bicycle and travels from town to town running out the local street gangs. I mean, add a motorcycle to Fist of the North Star, and you basically already got it. I haven't watched Fist of the North Star yet. I've been meaning to one day, but my disgusting weeb backlog is so jam-packed full that it'll be years before I watch everything I have to watch. I'm a very recent anime fan. I watched Dragon Ball because I thought, well, I want to see what's so culturally significant about Dragon Ball. And like, there are references to it everywhere. I know who a lot of the characters are, but I don't know anything about Dragon Ball. So I sat down and I watched everything. I started with the original Dragon Ball, which I think is severely underappreciated to this day. And then I watched Z. I even watched GT, and then I finished it off with Super. I didn't watch every movie, so I haven't seen Broly. Yeah, that was kind of a gateway drug. I finished Dragon Ball. I thought, I wonder what else there is of this. And now I have a plan to watch list that's about 500 series deep. It's never going to be finished, especially since new shows come out all the time. And then you got to keep up with those. ReZero Season 2 debuted today. Decadence debuted today. See, that's already 2 series right there that just came out right now that I'm planning on watching, so it's like, dude. Anime is that kind of thing where, I understand why it gets a bad reputation. I do. The fan base kind of has quite a bit to do with it. I'm sorry if you're part of the fan base. I mean, I am too here, but, you know, I think a lot of people just kind of can't be normal about it as a hobby, if that makes sense. A lot of people kind of tend to go a little bit far, and they become a little bit much when interacting with them. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna dig myself in a hole if I keep going down this topic, I'm sure, and somebody's going to get very upset, but I think if treated like any other hobby, there's absolutely nothing wrong with anime. And that goes for, again, literally any other hobby on the face of the sun. Anything done with too much excess can become far too much. Good gosh. If this is an all ice track, then I am out of here. The ice is unfun. I'll give it that. The ice is just genuinely not fun at all. Yep, there we go. We downshifted and went through that a little bit better. I think if we would have started doing that a long time ago on this track, we would be on pace to actually make something happen. But I was sitting on it way too long. And then, you know, tiny little mistakes like that happen, and you realize that maybe it's all inevitable. So yeah, could do without the ice. The game is hard enough on normal asphalt. Oh my gosh, maybe this is the course I designed. It's feeling all kinds of windy. I was like, excuse me? Turns out I just decelerated too much. Yeah, not even close this time around. Shoot the barrel! The end. The end of Mach Rider. You've done it. Well, you know, that's... Oh, that's nice. There's actually a reset button to get you out of design mode. That's kind of cool. Now, my question is solo course the same exact thing? Like, are we just gonna play the same levels by attempting solo course again? Well, we're already in it, so I guess we'll see. And as I said, when playing the design course, I can't even tell. You could have told me that I designed this and I'd believe you. I'd say, oh yeah, sure. This is because the game... I know I got done saying that it had good graphics, and it does for the time, but the key words there are for the time. There's still a lot of very bland things about its presentation. Like, yes, the background horizon is pretty neat. The craggy rocks or the destroyed buildings or what have you, that's all a very nice touch. But you look at the rest of the ground around us, hope you like orange. Because you're getting a lot of orange and not much else. Ugh, disgusting. I do feel like this is definitely different from the track we designed, though. I mean, obviously, it's not just gonna pull a track that you designed and throw it into the normal solo mode of the game. Or solo course, whatever they want to call it. It's a tough game, though. It's a very tough game, especially the fight course. Holy cow. I couldn't get past level 3 of that thing. Maybe I'm just bad, but, you know, you can eventually get good at anything. I know I've already said that before. You could take a 95-year-old grandma and they would eventually be able to beat Battletech. Not like Battletech's the hardest game. Battletech's a really good game, though. Have any of you played that newest Battletech game? It's a few years old now, but I know Battletech has always been niche. giant robots in general are not the most popular right now, which is a shame. I love Mecha. I'm actually planning on sitting down and watching the entire Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, even the shitty spin-offs, just because I feel like, again, it's a cultural thing. Gundam is referenced so often, but it feels like you never meet anybody who has actually watched it. I mean, except older people, because that's when Gundam was popular. They're still making Gundam shows, though. There's one airing right now. I think there's an SD Gundam series airing right now. SD Gundam, of course, being, you know, not the most serious of all Gundam properties, but I'm partially dreading it, and I'm partially really excited, because, like, I don't know what to expect, and I'm always fine when I don't know what to expect. Some of the most fun series I've watched have wound up being ones that I knew nothing about and just went into blind. But it's the length of it. Like, I'm committing to a lot. You could say, oh, well, you don't have to watch them all in one go, and I'd say, you're right. But it's so fun to do it that way, you know? It's like, who just sits down and watches, like, Lord of the Rings, the, like, Fellowship of the Ring, and that's it? No, you always gotta watch all 3 movies, extended editions, in 1, maybe 2 nights. That's how I'm feeling here. It's like, yeah, you could split the Gundam franchise up into several different, oh, look at that, we got an extra kilometer out of that coast. Into several different viewing sessions, but, just go for it all in one go. Probably gonna watch... I'm on a pace of, I have a very specific, like, schedule when I watch anime. I usually watch, 3 series at a time. I watch 1 series, 25 or under episodes, or I guess we'll just say 30 or under for the sake of being all-inclusive. And, I usually watch 1 episode of that a day. And then I watch an episode anywhere from 30 to 100 episodes, and I watch 2 episodes of that a day. And then I watch, like, a mega 100-plus long series. And then I watch 3 episodes of that a day. I have a very specific system put in place. I watch the longer show when I go on my breaks at work. And then I watch the other 3 episodes of the other series that I'm watching before bed. And it works really well for me. The most effective thing about it is that I really avoid burnout really well. And I started doing that when I got into Dragon Ball Z, actually, because I realized if I just watched nothing but Dragon Ball, I'm going to get so tired of this. There's going to be no variety. So that was when I thought, well, maybe it wouldn't be a terrible thing if I picked up another show along the way. And then I did, so I did, and then that just evolved into the system that I have now. None of you asked. No, nobody on the planet asked me what my system for watching anime was, but hey. You're gonna hear it anyway. So that's been enriching. And it's not that I don't like live-action shows, but the problem with live-action shows is, like, they're all... well, not all. Sitcoms are mostly only half an hour, but if you're watching, like, a really in-depth, good series, you're typically looking at, like, hour-long episodes pretty much every time. Game of Thrones, it's an hour-long episode. Dexter, hour-long episode. Breaking Bad, you're getting what I'm saying here. I guess you could bring it down to maybe 45 minutes thanks to commercials and all of that and credits, but still, they're long. You can watch 2 anime episodes at a time. You can watch 1 live-action show. Plus, you know, I've just been appreciating the aesthetic more. I was the kind of person who, for the longest time, did not like anime. I hated the concept of it. Like, if you drew me in an anime style, I would get personally offended. And, I don't know, as I've grown up and I've matured, this has kind of been the thing where I'm like, what was your problem? And I think my problem, like I said earlier, was the fan base. I just got so annoyed by so many of the anime fan tropes that I didn't want anything to do with the medium as a whole. But, you know, as you get older, you eventually stop caring about the insignificant things like that, and you just and you see things for what they are. And what is anime? It's creepy, weird Japanese shit. No, it's only creepy if you look for the creepy stuff. You can choose whether you're going to watch Full Metal Alchemist or Kiss X Sis. And you know what? You're fine if you watch either, as far as I'm concerned. You do you. That said, I do kind of miss watching Star Trek. I just don't have the time budget to fit an hour-long episode of Star Trek in every day. Because there's another thing, if you want to talk about a lot of content, Star Trek is there for you. I mean, look at the stretch from like the Next Generation to Deep Space Nine to Voyager. I believe they all had 7 seasons, and they were long seasons too. Like, they were like 30-some episode seasons every time, and they were all hour-long episodes. It's like, that's an absolute shit ton of Star Trek to watch. And most of it's good too. I have always preferred Star Trek to Star Wars. I haven't even seen the newest Star Wars. Someone spoiled the ending, which I wasn't really upset about because I honestly didn't know if I was even going to see it, and I thought, oh well, I guess it's fine that I didn't watch that. I respect Star Wars for its cultural footprint. Don't get me wrong. Oh, come on, man. But I think it has been overshadowed by the competition since its initial run back in the day. Ooh, we made it with like a second left. Oh yeah. Let's go. That was the most clutch qualification yet. Yeah, solo course is definitely the easiest course. Obviously, you don't have enemies around, you just got rocks and barrels to contend with. And those can be hard in their own right, but, you know? Oh no, it's the ice stage. Well, let's practice that laying off the throttle on the turn hypothesis, or the downshifting. But yes, I like Star Trek. Does it get corny? Absolutely it does. Does that make it bad? Absolutely not, it doesn't. If you can't appreciate your sci-fi with a little bit of corn in it, well then go back to watching whatever gritty true crime shows you watch or something. I don't know what people watch nowadays. TV's bad. TV shows are not always bad. If you're on TV, you're not guaranteed to be bad, but the general concept of cable TV is pretty abysmal. I don't have cable, but I do have Sling TV. I watch All Elite Wrestling on that, although I've been doing less of that too. Maybe it's not even worth it anymore. But when you're like channel surfing through, even Sling TV, it doesn't even have to be we're not making this course, by the way. It doesn't even have to be true cable. Just even Sling TV, the sheer amount of garbage that you see, it's like sports talk shows, not even real sports, you know, because it's a Corona year. A Corona year, how's that? As if we're gonna have multiple. God forbid. So, not even sports talk shows. And lots of reality shows, and lots of sitcom reruns. If you're going to a channel that you think is gonna have something like actually of slight substance to watch, I'm not even talking like highbrow entertainment, I'm talking even just like, I don't know, something like Seinfeld or something. Chances are it'll just be airing The Big Bang Theory all day long, and that is a show that I abhor. I'm not gonna get into that though. My time is not best spent raving about something that I hate. I know some people like to spend their time that way, but a good rant can be fun, but I like to focus on the positive things. But I guess that point that I just made can literally be applied to anime as well. There's a lot of terrible anime out there. It's definitely not all of high quality. I haven't seen any truly heinous shows. I think the worst show I watched was Chaos Child, and that I really did not care for. Really bad adaptation. Very just convoluted. Anyway, we've just spent an hour with Mach Rider. I'm impressed with it in some ways, and kind of put down in other ways. It's very difficult, as you would expect. The fighting course especially gets absolutely absurd. But it had a lot of very promising tech for the time. Had you received this on launch day with your NES, I would imagine you would have had a good bit of fun with it. The design mode is way more fun than playing the design courses, but I've already said that, and I can't say it enough. It was very, very neat to see what they did with the course designer in this game. Beyond all that, would it be worth picking up a raw copy of? I mean, it's a launch title, and it's a halfway decent one, so I'd say yes. Wouldn't mind owning a copy of Mach Rider the old-fashioned way sometime. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed watching Mach Rider. Not much else to say about it there. What are we looking at next time here? I know I always need to give a... Ooh. All right, well, tomorrow it's pinball. Just pinball. Nothing special about that. But, you know... We've done worse. If we sat through an hour of Ice Climbers, we can sit through an hour of pinball. As long as we have each other, nothing will get too old. So, join me then. As always, thank you so much for watching. Tell your cousin's dog all about it. And we'll keep doing this as long as we have breath in our body.